Namugongo ne Pulezidenti w'eggwanga eyalondebwa Bannayuganda omukulembeze w'abantu ate era omunoonyezi w'eggwanga lino Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Robert Bobi Wine, elected President of Uganda. Baganda bange, mikwano gyange, bataata, bamaama gwe tuli naye e Namugongo era nga kyenyinza obbagamba nti ssanyu jjereere Bannakampala, abantu ab'enjawulo abavudde mu bitundu eby'enjawulo bajjidde ddala mu bungi okusanyukira wamu ne His Excellency Elected President of Uganda Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Robert Bobi Wine bw'ati bw'alabise e Namugongo olunaku olwaleero ng'ennaku z'omwezi ziri 3 tuli mu mwezi gwa Juni tujjukira abajulizi ba Uganda bw'atyo His Excellency Elected President of Uganda Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Robert Bobi Wine bw'alabise e Namugongo. Tukwoyozaayoza nnyo tweyanziza nnyo Pulezidenti w'eggwanga eyalondebwa Bannayuganda Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Robert Bobi Wine okuba nga obaddewo olunaku olwaleero ng'ate twolekera Namugongo era embeera bw'eti bw'eri. Abalamazi Baganda baffe, mikwano gyaffe, mwebale kugira ddala mu bungi okwaniriza His Excellency Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Robert Bobi Wine. Tweyanziza nnyo tweyanzeege, mwebale kumwagala, mwebale kumukulembera, mwebale kubeera wamu naye era mwebale kuba ekyakuddamu ki. Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Robert Bobi Wine His Excellency gwe tuli naye e Namugongo era embeera bw'etyo bw'eri. Baganda bange, mikwano gyange, omukulembeze w'eggwanga eyalondebwa Bannayuganda His Excellency Elected President of Uganda Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Robert Bobi Wine. Nyongera bajjukiza bataata bamaama tuli naye
the museum has been built.
The main celebrant will preach in English. The summary of the homily shall be given in Kiswahili, Alur, French, and in Luganda. Dear people of God, I bring you warm greetings from Nebi Utie Kane Danumi Ganal Utie Unu Nebi Ungeyo ni awachako safari mwami yobrepi ni dumatine ni kagora chel mukada ngech ni chakre mwachaku woto awacha weku iching jusadeni remo maleng me Uganda dongtin watush eni aweku chake iching yo. Dear pilgrims, I greet and thank the chair of the Uganda Episcopal Conference, Bishop Anthony Ziwa, and the entire members of the Uganda Episcopal Conference for mandating Nebi Catholic Diocese to lead this year 2024 Uganda Martyrs celebration. We are very, very happy to lead again since 2007. We don't know when we shall lead again, but we hope to come again very soon. I greet and welcome the Apostolic Nuncio to Uganda, His Excellency, Most Reverend Luigi Bianco. I greet other visiting bishops who are here with us. From Congo, Bishop Sosten of Mahagi Nyoka Diocese. I greet another bishop from South Africa, and maybe others have not met. I greet and welcome you, my dear brother priests, religious men and women. Feel welcome. I greet and welcome His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the President of Uganda, the First Lady and Minister for Education and Sports, Mama Honorable Janet Museveni. I greet and welcome the Most Honorable Deputy Speaker of Parliament. I greet Honorable Prime Minister of Uganda, former Vice President of Uganda. I greet Mama Nyerere and family, ministers, and all members of Parliament, former ministers, former MPs, heads of political parties here present, dear cultural leaders, especially the Chief of Alu, Obemo. In a particular way, I want to thank and greet the chairperson of the laity and also the chairperson of the organizing committee, Honorable Catherine Akumu Mavenjina. I greet you all, heads of the different pilgrims from the various communities. In a particular way, I would like to greet, welcome, and congratulate Honorable Mao, who were dead a couple of days ago. I greet and welcome all pilgrims from within and from without Uganda. In a particular way, I would like to greet and welcome our pilgrims from Kenya and Tanzania. Nyinyi mahujaji kutoka Kenya na Tanzania, kwa muda mrefu mmekuwa mkija kwenye sherehe za Namugongo kwa wengi kutoka majimbo mbalimbali. Tunawakaribisha kwa furaha tele. Karibu tena na tena. In a particular way, I would like to greet and welcome our brothers and sisters from the Democratic Republic of Congo. Chers frères et sœurs de la RDC, nous ne pouvons pas oublier de reconnaître votre dévouement aux martyrs de l'Ouganda. J'ai été au Congo pendant plusieurs années. Là, j'ai bien connu que votre connaissance des 5 Kizito est bien répandue dans toutes les paroisses que j'ai visitées. Soyez les bienvenus. Dear brothers and sisters, our celebration of the Eucharist in honor of the Uganda martyrs on this holy ground of Namugongo, where 13 of them were martyred, is very meaningful for us. It refreshes our way of being Christians. If you look around, look on the hills, see the multitude of people, what comes to our mind? If not an experience of new Pentecost. We have the experience of new Pentecost here. We have people from all corners of Uganda, from the neighboring countries, from Southern Africa, from Europe and beyond. Indeed, all tribes of God are gathered here by the Uganda martyrs, so we may feel as one people on this planet Earth. We thank the Lord for gathering us as one community of faith, so we could be bearers of hope in our societies, in our families, and of our history. Every year we celebrate this feast, but this year again we celebrate, but with a special touch, because we remember the 60th anniversary of the canonization of the Uganda martyrs. We are very, very delighted to be part of it. We celebrate also the 145th anniversary this year of the arrival of the Catholic faith in Uganda, brought by the missionaries of Africa under the leadership of Father Mapera Ludel. We thank God for the gift of missionaries that have brought to us the faith we are living and celebrating today. Celebrating the Uganda martyrs here is an expression of God's goodness to Uganda. We recall the words of St. Pope Paul VI when he visited Uganda in 1969. He said, "Uganda is particularly dear to the Catholic Church since it has provided the first canonized African martyrs and the first African bishop of modern times, Bishop Kiwanuka, and because a third of its population comprises faithful sons and daughters of the Church, making this one of the first Christian nations of Central Africa. We are proud to be Ugandans. We are proud to be Catholics. The story of the Uganda martyrs, St. Charles Lwanga and his companions, is a story of those who trust in the Lord. It's a story of those who choose the way of the Lord. It's a story of those who abandon the way of idolatry. In the first reading in the Gospel, we are invited to make choice. We are offered basically two choices: the choice to life and choice to death. And the word of Joshua, whom we have read, the word of Joshua that guided our preparation throughout to come here to Namugongo, particularly with the phrase which he said, "As for me and my household, we shall serve the Lord." Who is Joshua? Joshua, the name which means the Lord is my salvation. He lived according to his name. From his young age, tender age, Joshua presented himself as an aid to Moses. He wasn't a young man who is lost there on the streets. He was a young man who was not confused. He was a young man with a purpose. He walked with Moses. He looked intently at Moses at every step of his journey, of his vocation. When Moses went on Sinai to receive the law from God, Joshua was there with him. They stayed on the mountain for 40 days. And when they came down, they found that the people of Israel waiting at the foot of Mount Sinai had made their own golden calf that they called God. Moses and Joshua were bitter, were angry, and very surprised to see a people just liberated from slavery already forgetting the goodness of God, preferring the way of the idols. They built their own idols in their midst. Joshua was always present with Moses. At the tabernacle, Joshua was next to Moses. When God appeared to Moses, and Moses saw God face to face, Joshua witnessed that. He had made a choice at a young age, and he dedicated his life to fulfill it. Joshua felt called to work to please God, not the world. Moses helped him to understand the meaning of the law. And indeed, the law that the witness given to Moses shaped his life, made him conform his life with the will of God. And because he was conformed to the will of God, he readily did what was pleasing to God. And today is no wonder if Joshua says, "Me and my household, we shall serve the Lord." He had learned from the law that God gave to shape his life. When you offer your person, your being, when you offer your community as sacrifice, pleasing to God, because you have no other God. This is the way Joshua understood what his vocation was all about. He understood that when you offer sacrifice to God, because you have no other God, because you don't kill, because you don't steal, because you don't spread fake news, you are pleasing to God. And engage his whole family to enter into this spiritual gift in this moment of grace in his life. Equally, Jesus has taught us through the gospel readings we had today. He presents us the pattern of being one who stays on the side of life to seek life. He will not offer money. He will not offer animal or other people. The way people are being sacrificed in the unjust wars or bad policies or bad politics. He offered his own life. He closed his life, he made his life close to the poor, to the suffering, to the abandoned. And that is what he meant by being a disciple. Jesus taught his disciples to embrace that pattern of life, to embrace that journey. How beautiful when we are self-giving, when we are ready to serve our brothers and sisters with generosity. Our world today is looking for such figures like Joshua and apostles of Jesus who offer themselves to continue what God wants in human life. The warmth of that kind of self-giving is wanting more and more today. We remember the experience of Mother Teresa when she was once in London and taking a walk. And there she bounced into a beggar who was fixed in a place for years. Every day he will be there in the same place.